Hello, my name is Maria Babayev. I'm a luxury broker representing unique homes and estates on North Shore, Long Island. In a recent community forum, I explained why Long Island and what makes Long Island such a unique and special place for living and raising your family. I hope you enjoy this video.
What do we tell people when you hear, oh gosh, the suburbs, it's so boring? How do we address that?
Jamie, you and I already determined that boring is for boring people, and we certainly not that.
Right.
I think that there's so much to do on Long Island, especially when we live here, we work here, our children, our families. There's so many different activities, parks, gardens, restaurants. I mean, we have all Manhattan, names: Limani, Cipollini, Al Molino, all of these incredible places in terms of dining. How about shopping with our Americana Manhasset and all the Neiman Marcus, and again, we don't know how it's all going to look like going forward, but it's here, it's available. Private golf courses, country clubs, equestrian centers, tennis clubs, anything and everything you can possibly think is here.
Yacht clubs.
Yacht clubs. I personally discovered hiking in Cold Spring Harbor. Look at these trails. It is phenomenal. Usually I would go to Sedona, Arizona, which is still my favorite place on earth. But now I'm hiking here, and it's very challenging trails, and it's a great exercise. Hospitals. How about top nations, names in the medical community? Feinstein Institute for Medical Research. We have St. Francis, Northwell. They are all in the front of this pandemic and what's happening in terms of research. I think it gives me a lot of comfort level knowing that I'm 7 minutes away from Northwell in Manhasset. I think all of that creates that super unique environment for and very enticing for any family to consider move to Long Island.
Why Long Island over Westchester or Connecticut?
I moved to North Shore, Long Island 18 years ago, and I still remember that fear coming out of New York City. All my friends were saying, oh, you're such a city girl, how are you going to be in the suburbs? And frankly, I love it here, and I never look back. Decision of moving to the suburbs, again, it's super individual for each specific family. And I think that all areas are very comparable, if you will. New Jersey, Connecticut, Westchester, Long Island, in terms of infrastructure and proximity. I think a lot of it is where your tribe is already. On Long Island, I see the trend is that a lot of families are, if children leave for school, then they come back, they perhaps grew up here, or they have family on Long Island. I think another major pool, since you gave me three, we're only 1 hour away from the Hamptons. And if that component is a very big part of your lifestyle, then it's no brainer. It's really a very, very easy commute. And I think the other thing why Long Island is great school districts. I think that's a major pool, always was and always will be.
What do you say to people that are living in the city and they want to move out, they want to be in a house, but the idea of having to get onto a train every day or commute, what do you have to say to that? How do you feel about the commute?
We have multiple ways to commute, right? We do have Long Island Railroad with multiple hubs. And now I'm so excited with what Mark shared with us with all the modifications and redesigning and rezoning of this major hub areas. We also have Long Island Transportation, which is luxury buses that take people with a special line designated in the morning with no traffic. And these are two locations, one going into Midtown, the other one is downtown Wall Street area. I'm excited about ferry. I personally love to drive. I mean, you can listen to books and podcasts and just make phone calls. And Jamie, I know you are huge on working from your car, which is your other office.
Who is it that's picking up and going to be leaving the city?
The biggest group is, of course, families with children. And that is a major concern where space now became a new luxury, right? So I'm getting a lot of calls with young families, with 2 or 3 children trying to come out of New York City because we yet to know how this virus affects kids. And it looks like the more we know, the more we don't know. So there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of fear. And so that's one big group that's kind of coming out and wanted to have certain things in place in terms of their lifestyle. I feel like school districts are a major pool. It was always the case, and it's even more so now. We are truly blessed with amazing school districts. Private, public schools are very good. Both of my children are in the public school here on Long Island, and I'm super happy. And that was always a major pool, education. And that's a huge ticket. If we're talking about economics, like what are the math, behind the decision? It's a very big ticket. So that's number one. And then the second group that I'm seeing is the adult couples that are now trying to create a hub for their families. Perhaps children are in New York City, they're in their late 20s, early 30s, and they were all set there and living very happy. And then they had a house in the Hamptons. Now they want something close. Gold Coast, Long Island, where if they need to commute to New York City, it's a lot easier than commute from the Hamptons. So that's another group I'm kind of seeing.
You work all over Long Island. Is there any particular area that you're seeing a greater demand for since COVID?
I get calls on all of my properties, and they all in the different price ranges and different geographical territories. I think that it all depends on the specific situation of the family. If they're looking for land, then they will be calling on properties that are 2-acre zoning and more. If they're looking for something smaller, less upkeep, less maintenance, it will be areas of perhaps Manhasset, Roslyn. If they're looking for waterfronts, then again, it's certain areas. But right now, I think buyers are shopping for value. I don't see such pronounced attachment to a specific area, especially for buyers coming from New York City. They would like to be educated first, okay? They would like to know what this area has to offer, what that area has to offer. If downtown is important, then perhaps, Roslyn, we have a beautiful village of Roslyn. But with Americana Manhasset being as a hub of dining and shopping establishments, I think all of this in such close proximity that once you're on Long Island and you start driving, you're in Old Westbury, next thing you know, you're in Old Brookville, then you're in Brookville. So it's very hard to define where the lines kind of certain municipalities are. And therefore, polls that I'm getting, I do think that value, taxes, and just overall economics of that move will come into play when decisions are being made.
Any last words for the audience?
I think what's becoming a true luxury is the backyard, having your own pool, having space, having some grass to put a swing set, little things that I feel we really did not appreciate because we were so busy. Anything that New York City has, we do have that. And yet we are 20 miles outside of Manhattan. You miss it, you're there in half hour.
Maria, you're beautiful, and thank you so much.
Thank you.